1047 The Point. My name is Sam. I'm actually here with a very special guest. This is like something that doesn't happen every day. That we have an artist here in the studio. I am here with Taylor Goldsmith of Dawes. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for stopping by before your show tonight, which is at Higher Ground, and it starts at 8 p.m., right?
Yeah, right at 8. Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. Yeah. How's tour been? You know, I think you've been kind of running around and did you just come from Massachusetts or no?
What was yesterday? Jeez.
It's been all been like
yesterday was Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, this is the end of kind of the end. We have 3 more shows of like a 3.5 week run.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I mean, it's funny. Like the longer a tour goes on, the tighter the band gets, but also
nice.
the just kind of worn out as well. So I think it makes for a good combination. Yeah, I don't know. Like sometimes at the beginning of a tour, we're a little rusty, but we're really, we're all wide-eyed and excited to be back. Whereas now I feel like we're in a real good groove.
Yeah, right. And you're like in the pocket. Isn't that what?
Yeah, exactly.
What the saying is? You're in the pocket. Yeah. So I mean, since you've been doing this for the 3 weeks, I mean, tonight then should be totally in the groove.
Exactly.
Sweet. I mean, has there been any fun tour stories so far with this one?
We started off in a cool way. We played Newport Folk Festival, and this year, 2019, is the 10-year anniversary of our first record. And so we did a set of just our first album. We didn't do it in order because we had a bunch of guests up, and they were only available at certain moments, so we had to kind of accommodate everybody. But we did those exact 11 songs, and we had people like Yola and Jason Isbell and Preservation Hall Jazz Band and John McCauley, and it was a blast. We had some like all of our old pals that are frequenters of the Newport world all got up for a song.
That's
really
incredible.
Cool.
I mean, just the fact that like you can just be like, "Hey, Jason, can you come over and like play some songs with us?"
It was very generous of him. I mean, he was very busy, and he jumped right up and he killed it. I mean, no surprise, but
right. True. Yeah. And how was it like just performing with the Preservation Hall band?
They're insane. I mean, those guys, like that New Orleans world of music, it like teaches you what music is in a different way.
Yes.
Like I feel like for a lot of guys that came up the way I did, of like you listen to records, you write down the chord changes, you practice, you have to watch other people doing it. Like, I feel like I have a pretty good ear, but those guys, like, they legitimately don't even need to hear it once in order to play it. Like, they got on stage and immediately were just figuring it out and curving their way around the progression, and it was unbelievable, like what they can do. They hear music on a different level than anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's why they're in the Preservation Hall band. You're like, okay. Yeah, because I've been to New Orleans once, and that was one of the times that I got to, like one of the things I got to do was see them live in this like awesome old building.
Yeah, that space is beautiful.
Right, it's gorgeous. And I love how like intimate and small it is, and like you can just hear and see and feel everything there.
Yeah.
So
that's a special thing they got going on over there.
Yeah, for sure. But I know that's also kind of similar to Higher Ground as far as like it is a good size, but definitely enough that like I can see your face, I can see your eyes, I can see like what you're feeling and like with the song and stuff. So I think the show tonight at Higher Ground is going to be awesome. Yeah,
we've had a lot of great memories there. We've been there a lot, so it's cool to go back.
Yay! Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in here.
Yeah.
I know we can't talk crazy long, but actually, I'm probably going to grab you a little bit longer, but off air. So if you want to catch the rest of our interview, just go to our site, pointfm.com, and go to the show tonight. Duh.
Cool.
Sweet. Now this will be on the internet waves as opposed to the airwaves.
Cool.
But I wanted to discuss with you because I love the idea that and I guess like that's actually a question, like who came up with the idea of passwords being this opener into not only just password like an internet to go into like your account or something, but also like the password to like your thoughts and your feelings to like a song. Like that's like super like kaboosh, like my brain. What was that? Yeah, like who came up with that?
I mean, when we were figuring out what to name our albums is always hard.
Yeah.
At least for us. Some bands are so good at it, and then other artists, it's like, to me it's ironic that like, Leonard Cohen, who's one of the greatest lyricists that ever lived, his albums are called like 10 New Songs, or songs of Leonard Cohen, or more songs of Leonard Cohen.
Simple.
Songs from a Room. Like they're all. It seems like he struggled with naming albums too. It sounds like, or maybe not. Maybe that's just what he knew it should be. And then the Rolling Stones have these like very unique like Goat's Head Soup and Beggar's Banquet and Sticky Fingers and really trippy album titles. Tattoo You. Like I don't know where this comes from. Then they're not in the lyrics. Like sometimes like there's a story behind it, like Exile on Main Street or Some Girls is a song title, certain things like that. But for the most part, like especially something as crazy as Goat's Head Soup, there's no explanation. So I've always admired that, but we've just never been good at that. We've always ended up naming our album after a song, typically, just because it felt appropriate with records like All Your Favorite Bands or Stories Don't End. But with Passwords, it's a lyric in the song Living in the Future. And the more we kind of were talking about what to name this record and what a few of these songs are about, whether it's Stay Down or Living in the Future or Crack the Case or Telescope or whatever, there was this attitude of like kind of engaging with this kind of current moment we live in, and just how our brains are being kind of reshaped and reformed.
My fingers are being reshaped. Literally, like this is really weird, and like you can't see this because like we're just on audio, but like my pinkies are curved, I think because of how often I hold my cell phone. And I'm like, this is nuts and freaky, and I don't like that my pinkies are curved now. We're
all like we're cyborgs,
right?
And it's not something that I lament necessarily. Like it's just the way that things are rolling. It's just like I don't throw my phone away. I use it, and
you're not like Jack White, which that's a totally like, I guess there are two ways that you can go about the situation of kind of like cell phones and technology taking over, which is either you can be like Jack White, which I think is cool, where he's like, I'm going to put your phones in a plastic bag and you can't open that plastic bag until like the show's over. And I don't think he even like owns a cell phone.
Yeah, supposedly, yeah.
Yeah. And like, and that's totally a way to go about it. Or just, I guess, an acceptance of, hey, I mean, what else, I guess, is there to do?
Well, personally, I think that, like, this technological world we're living in, it requires a certain, or it asks for a certain discipline that, like, I definitely don't live up to. Like, the idea of, like, us being like, I'm going to listen to this new song by this artist, and I'm actually going to, like, put my phone, off to the side, and I'm going to actually listen. Like, that should be easier than it is. And that's unfortunate. Like, I think that, like, the compulsion of reaching for it is something that freaks me out. But the advantages and the conveniences, that's something that's beautiful. Like I'm
Very
able
true.
to stay in touch with my wife like a lot easier than I could have if I was Jack White.
When you have no cell phone.
Yeah. So I think that, like, I'm all for it, but I just think that for me personally, for me to, like, sleep at night, I need to get better with a certain discipline. In order to just, because a
healthy balance.
Yeah, years go by and you're just like, wait, what have I been doing? I've spent like a third of every day staring at pictures of other people that I don't care about.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Right. Where it's like, I feel I now know these random people that I sort of knew either from like classes or like just like somewhere in my past that I really don't talk to that much anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish them the best, and like I think they're cool. I mean, like, yeah, great. Just like I don't really talk to them that much.
Yeah.
And like, oh, you're having a baby? Like, cool. Isn't that kind of like personal information? But like, I mean, also they put that out there, and it's something to celebrate. And,
totally. I mean, and again, like I'm not mad at Instagram either. It's just like, if I can do it where, like, oh, I had my morning coffee, I look at this for 5 minutes, and then I'm not gonna look at it till tomorrow. That would be pretty cool. But and when I'm in a good way, like when I've been home for a minute and I'm not scattered, that becomes my routine with it. But I'm not great at it. Like, and I'm not saying that's how everybody should be. I don't know. It's just
do your thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you.
Like, I know some people that like live on their Instagram stories and they don't have that sort of that struggling relationship with it. They're like, well, I love it. It makes me feel connected, and I love it. And
some people make money off of Instagram by just like being Instagram people.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Personas, which like make the monies.
Yeah,
do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that like technology has helped you with songwriting and like making songs and with the band, or do you think it's almost kind of like that struggle or like that balance of like love-hate kind of relationship?
I mean, I would bet money that if I didn't have a badass like supercomputer at my fingertips, I'd have a lot more songs written. I would think, a lot more books read, a lot more. I mean, I read a lot, but it doesn't. There's still like a good part of my day where I'm like, wait, I've been doing this for 15 minutes and like I don't know what I'm doing. So, but at the same time, there's also like I can write a song and I can send it to my brother Griffin within 5 minutes and be like, hey, here's a verse idea, and it's something that we're not going to lose because back in the day, just as a songwriter doesn't have any means of like capturing something, you could really lose some stuff. Yeah. So like it's stuff like that it's like, wow, thank God that this is here.
That we have technology. Yeah. I just read like a fact that I didn't necessarily know about the Beatles before I read it. I feel like I learn more and more new things about the Beatles every day. And I'm like, how do you have even more info? And it's been like...
It's like Tupac.
Right. It's like, how? How is there another documentary about more stuff that I don't know about? How is this possible? Yeah. But it was that the Beatles, they claimed that all 4 of them did not know how to read or write music. Yeah. And I'm just thinking that with this discussion back in the 60s, where we did not, I think... like the only computer that existed was like these like big giant blocks and rooms that were helping out with like World War II or whatever. Yeah. And like, Mac was not out. Yeah. That's just like, did they just have to like keep repeating the melody over and over in their head until they like picked up a guitar and then they're like, okay, put it down like right now.
Right. Like, yeah, I wonder. I mean, I'm sure at some point they had like home rigs where they could get something, but yeah, early on probably not. They probably just had to just memorize it, and that's so cool. That's like,
takes brain power.
Yeah, I mean, like that's an interesting thing about memory. Like I think that we struggle more now with memorizing things than people did in the past because we can outsource that information. Like I know that the definition of a certain word that I don't understand is always going to be
at your fingertips.
At my fingertips. But I think back in the day, like if it's like, oh, I'm reading a book, don't know what that word means, I'm going to look it up. I'm really going to commit to it, and so I think that this idea of like our memory has now been outsourced, our storage space has been outsourced.
Weird.
Is like a real thing, and like it allows our brains to sort of like take a back seat and be like, I don't need to actually
mush it up, which I don't want my brain to be mush.
My brother was telling me, my brother's way more into this stuff than me. Yeah. Griffin was telling me how like just looking, I hate to be like some doomsayer or something, but
no, it's all good.
But looking at like us being dictated by maps all the time, is something that's really bad for our part of our memory that like has that spatial awareness. And then when you think like our kids are all going to be in self-driving cars, like no one's going to know where they are ever.
That's terrifying.
Like I have friends that like have never driven, and when we're in LA or something, and I'll be like, where are you? They'll tell me where they are, and I'll be like, wait, what part of town is that? And they're like, I have no clue. Like they have no spatial awareness because they've never had to drive. And so that eventually it's just going to be all of us. And it's
Oh my goodness. Yeah. This is like, I think there's like a Netflix documentary or something out called like The Great Hack, where like apparently people are saying like the moment that you watch it, you will like delete your Facebook. You will delete like all these things because it'll just like freak you out with all the like the information that's being shared out there and all that stuff. So
cool.
I mean, well, just like it just reminds me of a little bit of that where, it might, I guess like it's interesting. I think some of the scary stuff can definitely, and we are on the way to being that. Yeah. But also, I guess the one thing that keeps me like reassured, I guess, is that we're still humans. Yeah. Like I'm still like talking to you right now,
and we still have agency. Like we just recorded a bunch of a record in the can basically, and one of the songs is called "Free as We Want to Be," and it's basically referring to we're terrified of the fact that people know where we are at all times, or that there's these ad campaigns based on our walk to work or whatever. Yes. But the reality is that we're complicit with this, that we're signing up for this, and we don't have to. And I understand there's a convenience of an iPhone, but like, go get a flip phone, go like or whatever, or
get
don't,
off grid.
Or don't, or own your iPhone, which I'm going to continue to do, and just be cool with the fact that like, we are complicit with these scary things that are going on. If
there's something you can do about it, if you want to do something about it.
Yeah. And so for us to suggest like, well, I want my cake and eat it too. I want to own this, but I want to feel like, no one can know where I am. It's like that's just
but still be connected.
Yeah,
it's
just like that's not like those. Yeah, those don't go together.
Either eat the pie or don't eat the pie.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. Yeah. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And it's the truth.
Yeah. I need to watch that movie.
Yes, me too. I haven't seen it. I just like have like hearsay of this creepy Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out too.
Yeah.
It just reminded me a lot, like when I heard about that, I was like, oh yeah, like passwords. Like, oh my God, it's all like coming together. Like, that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I guess just have one more question, which you were saying that you read a lot, and I know that you have this Instagram thing where you like say like, hey, I'm reading this.
Yeah.
What are you reading? Which is almost like this cool interweb connecting book club with people that aren't necessarily near you, which I guess is another good thing about
exactly.
technology.
That's like and people have even said that. People have like commented like, oh man, I'm so grateful for this. Like, you know, because if I'm asking folks like, what do you think about this Faulkner book that I've never read or whatever, I'm about to read it, and all these people start engaging, and then someone at the bottom is like, this is the coolest comments thread of the day.
So
you
wholesome.
Know? Yeah, and it's like people just talking about it, what they feel about a book.
Yeah.
And that I'm deeply grateful for. I mean, it's funny. I was talking to Doug at our management office, and I was like, I just feel stupid talking about books. Like, what's more pretentious than that? And that's me being a fearful, concerned, like, you know, person in a band, whatever.
Whereas, like, am I talking about books and like, oh, what are people gonna think about this?
Because I don't think of myself as like a snooty dude, I hope I would never come off as that. But I struggled with that. He's like, what, you know, you guys need to engage more. You need to post more. Like, my life is like not necessarily one that I'm not on the beach all the time. Like Instagram seems to want me to be, you know. I like reading. And then he's like, then do that. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, like give it a whirl.
Be yourself.
And sure enough, like, but the more we can commit to being ourselves, whether that's through our sense of humor or our hobbies, the more people recognize like a full human picture, and people are like, oh, I like these people. I mean, it's funny because like I'm 33, I'm not that old, but I feel like I'm old enough to understand the mystique of Kid A, the mystique of Pink Floyd. I wasn't around for Pink Floyd, but this idea that like I don't know who Nick Cave is, but I assume he's a vampire, and I assume he's never been outside during the sunshine, you know.
He wears a cape.
Yeah. Like
and
all because of this incredible kind of like campaign of like or this curated this curated career that is totally over, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, and there are some people that like can still experience that because they got in at the right time. Jack White's actually a cool example. Yeah. But now it's like you look at the people that are really relevant, whether that's Phoebe Bridgers or Jason Isbell. I mean, people in the world that we exist in. It's because they are good at sharing themselves. That idea of the mystique is over. And people now are like, no, I want to see you eat a hamburger with your kid. I want to see you like I want to see you bummed that you're in the customs line. You know, like that's the new relationship with our artists. And
authenticity. It's like who are you as like you're the heart of you. Like we don't want this persona, this like fake stage thing. We want to see like, which on one hand can be like a little invasive, but only if you're complicit in it. Like we were
exactly.
saying.
That's choice.
How much you put out there. Yeah. And I think it's awesome that you're like, I like books. I'm going to talk about books. Let's have an online book club. I mean, and I think like that's like the great side of it, where it's like you're being authentic, you're being real to you, you're talking about things that you want to talk about, and you know, people appreciate that. Yeah.
And that's been something that's been very heartwarming for me to like engage with fans in that way. And then you know that we have every band, like you have those fans that want to wait by the bus to say hi at the end of the night. And they're very sweet people. Yeah. And you know, you eventually start to like recognize each other, or I start to recognize all them, and like we become pals and stuff. And they're always like, what book you got in your hand? Or some fans that are keeping up with me, like, oh, you're reading this now, I'm gonna read that too. And so they'll have some questions and some opinions like next time I see them. So that stuff's so fun. Yeah.
And just what are you reading right now?
Yeah. Right now I just started A Fan's Notes by Frederick Exley. I'm only like 20 pages in, but it's a joy so far. I've had it recommended a lot. It's just about this substitute teacher in like outside of Waterton, New York, and he's like is kind of a drunk, and he devotes every Sunday to the Giants football game, and like that's his favorite team, and it's kind of getting into like kind of philosophy on why football means so much to him. But it's not about football. I mean, it's definitely like a novel, and it's
a metaphor for something.
Yeah, it's a joy. It's really good.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, I know you're only 20 pages in, but like, you'll just have to read the rest of it and then let us know, like, why was football important? what was the metaphor? What was the theme? What's the deal? But just again, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, totally. Just before you go to higher ground tonight. And we're The Point, Vermont's Independent Radio.
Right on.
Right on.